Hi there, it's Pete, the Hipster King from the Hairy Game Lords, and this week we've played On the Underground. Now, this is a new one for me because I've seen this game in the flesh quite a few times. It was all over the place at Aircon, but we haven't played a physical copy of this game. We've only played 3 or 4 games online, but we thought we needed to give this a review because of just how much we enjoyed this game. Played it on Tabletopia. It was set up really well. Some of the games on Tabletopia haven't been that easy to play and have actually put us off in the end playing through them because they were just too fiddly. But this one has been done really, really well. The board is set out nicely to begin with. All the cards are ready for you and everything is played out really well. So whoever's done a job on that has done a really good job. So what is On the Underground? It's a train game where you're building the underground, and you have to move this one passenger around and you score points in a number of different ways. It's probably most similar to a game that I know a number of gamers hold really close to their heart, which is Ticket to Ride, and is an absolute classic in the field, Ticket to the Ride. Really dangerously, I think we might have found a replacement in On the Underground. We'll definitely need to play it a few more times before we can be absolutely sure, but Ticket to Ride is a brilliant gateway game. What I think we found in On the Underground is a little bit more tactical, a little bit more strategic, and it doesn't appear to run the risk that I know Ticket to Ride can do of having a couple, one simple strategy that will win every time. What we loved about this game was just how close it was. Everybody felt in contention at different points in the game, and at the very end of the game there was only 6 points in it, which in essence is a good run, on a good set of stations or the right couple of cards coming up. In essence, what you do is you have 3 colours of track that you can lay, and you're seeking to build the most usable routes across London. So you can build loop tracks, you can pay more of your actions to be able to put in junctions into those tracks so that you can you don't just have to go a single loop, you could cut across that, or you could have a single loop but then go out to one of the stations at the end. You get points for linking mainline stations, you get extra points for going to the stations at the end of the line, and there's your basic points. And there are also some key points on the map of London, so historical sites and things, that if you link 2 of those together, again you score additional bonuses. But the core of the scoring is around the passenger. Down the side of the board there are 5 destinations that passenger will travel to, and it's really simple. The passenger will move throughout the game from station to station. If he travels down any of your lines, you gain points from travelling down your lines. So getting your lines into the right place to be travelled across to a number of different destinations, also keeping an eye on the cards that are coming, is important. But you've only got 3 lines you can build, so choosing the positioning of your lines is really important too. I managed to score bonuses by creating the only loop track or circular track, if you like, in the game, and you score points for the stations that are inside that circle, not part of it but inside it. So I managed to get an extra 5 bonus points on that as well. I could have tried to build it a bit bigger, but as in Ticket to Ride and a number of these games, players will block what you can do too. So there is an element of, because some of the tracks have only got space for one owner, if you like, to have a track there. There are others that can have 3 or 4 on, so depending on the more central routes will allow more lines to be built. But balancing that, you've only got 4 actions in your turn. You can lay 4 pieces of track, but if you want to put a junction in, that's going to cost you 2 of your actions to start with. So it very, very quickly becomes choosing exactly what you're doing and planning a number of steps in advance. And because that little passenger moves all over the place, there are a couple of rules with the passenger. If you have a major station brought up, they will always travel there first and then to a minor station, but they'll never travel to 2 major stations and never travel to 2 minor stations. So looking at what you've got each time you're drawing those cards is important. And the passenger will always go to because they're passengers, the whole point is they don't want to be walking around London, so they will always take the easiest route via train wherever possible. So working out There's a little bit of working out there when you're sort of working out which way is the passenger actually going to travel. And we had a few discussions about that, trying to make sure that we got it right and so that we could score the points right. I absolutely love this game. So clever, so smart. It flowed really, really nicely. And even with an online game where you have to do all the work yourself, if you like, it wasn't too lengthy a game. I know in the flesh it would be much faster in terms of moving things around, but we had an absolute blast playing this. And if you love Ticket to Ride, I think this takes it to a new level. You could argue it's not quite as pretty with the little trains and things. They're only sort of blocks of wood. However, just the way the game plays was so good. We were really impressed.
So, on the Underground, oh my days, this is a great game. Yes, us three hairy game lords played it one evening on Tabletopia, and boy, are we glad that we did. Now, I have always been a fan of Ticket to Ride, and I think Ticket to Ride and then Ticket to Ride Europe were some of the earliest games in this new kind of modern board gaming world that I ventured into. In fact, Ticket to Ride Europe is a game that I own with a couple of expansions, and it is the one game that my wife, who does not like board games, will sit down and play with me. So, it's Ticket to Ride Europe it's close to my heart. But this game on the Underground, oh my days. Now, we played in the Tabletopia one, so we only had the London, but I am led to believe that it's a double-sided board with London on one side and Berlin on the other. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. What I really liked about this game was first of all, the simplicity of the game. Like Ticket to Ride, it's relatively easy to understand how to play it, pick up and learn. It's easy to explain to others how to learn it, but this game was even more so. Just none of the kind of collection of different cards and stuff like that. All you do is you choose your route that you want to take and you place down 4 of the lines, your coloured lines. You've got 3 different lines to choose from, and you just place them down. That's simple, but so nice. What I really enjoyed is, unlike Ticket to Ride, where you lay down your route and then score it, and unless you can get the longest route, you won't score that route again. On the Underground, you can score that route multiple times as the passenger moves back and forth over it. It helps you think, right, where can I take this route further? Where am I going to where do I think the passenger will go? And I need to maybe look into doing some different routes further out, maybe some in the middle. It's just so genius. Such a good game. And I believe it will be, for at least my collection, a Ticket to Ride killer. When I get the physical copy of this game, my hope is that my wife will love it as much, in fact, even more than Ticket to Ride, and will be up for playing a physical game with me. That would be brilliant. And there was 3 of us playing, and at the beginning it looked like Dave the Grey was running away with it, and both Pete and I were a bit like left behind, but the game was so close when it came to final scoring. I won. Good times. Brilliant game. Looking forward to playing the other side of the board when I get the physical game, and one that I could see myself playing over and over again. Such a good game. I need it in my life.
Hi, Dave the Grey here. So, on the Underground, what did I think? Elephant in the Room, it looks really like a Ticket to Ride game. So, slightly nervous about that. I've never massively enjoyed Ticket to Ride, although I've played them quite a bit, because everybody enjoys Ticket to Ride. Tend to find that they're very easily gamed. The person that knows the tactics for that particular version always comes out on top. So, this was an interesting experiment. and to be honest, blew me away. If I never play Ticket to Ride again and I play this instead, I'll be a happy man. And I'm telling people basically to get rid of Ticket to Ride. So similar sort of thing, laying your track down all over the London Underground. However, rather than just trying to make connections between stations, this time you've got 3 different coloured tracks that you can only build on either end of, so you're quite limited. Once you go down a particular route in what you do, and you've got this poor fool who's trying to get from one side of London to another, keep changing his mind every turn, so he's zipping all over London, and you're trying to get him to use as much of your train track as you possibly can. Plus some extra things like taking people to the museum, the zoo, what have you. But it's mainly down to this poor guy who's having to go over there, over there, over there, over there, all over the place, which makes it a little bit more, you're trying to tactically spread your track all over rather than just build your track and hope that you get the decent line out. So yeah, it was really, really quite a crunchy game, to be honest with you, for all that it's very easy to play and effectively a gateway. I think there's quite a lot of cunning goes into it. I took an early lead because I went for a couple of the easy and obvious point scoring opportunities right at the beginning. In the end I lost, but to be honest it could have all been so different if I'd had opportunity to place one more piece of my grey tile, which would have made a really big loop and I'd have got tons of points for the stations inside it. Failed it, as I say, by missing one track that I got cut off by. However, for the entire game we were all really, really close at the end. So no, absolutely cracking game. Definitely quite happy to play it anytime anybody wants to play Ticket to Ride. Let's play this instead. Absolutely awesome. Loved it.